Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming to check out Pavlis Honors College today. I wish we could talk in person, but I think this will be an okay substitution. So I'm Becky Bernard. I'm the marketing and recruitment person for Pavlis Honors College. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview about the college, so let me share my screen. I always think that's going to go really quickly and then it always takes a second. Okay, Pavlis Honors College, let me tell you a little bit more about it. So let's talk about the difference between Pavlis and other honors colleges. Traditional honors programs focus on depth of study in one specific thing. So if you're a mechanical engineer, you take advanced mechanical engineering classes with other MEs, and you learn more than you would in a general ME class. Other honors programs also have a minimum GPA requirement. So if you drop below, let's say, a 3.75, you're out of the honors program. Pavlis is a little bit different. We focus on breadth of study and some out-of-major skill sets with opportunities to learn more about your major if that's what you want, or about something totally different if you have multiple interests. It's also a chance to work with other students and faculty from multiple programs. It's going to be really, really hard for you to find a career where you're going to be dealing exclusively with people in the exact same fields as you. You need engineering and management and human resources and all the other divisions to work together. So we want to start giving you those skills now. And for the third part, which surprises a lot of people, Pavlis doesn't have a minimum GPA requirement to get in or to stay in, and here's why. You're going to be a Michigan Tech student. You're smart enough. We know that our curriculum is already advanced, so we would rather have you try new things and take advantage of new opportunities than play it safe and get a 4.0. I mentioned that we focus on breadth of study instead of in-depth in major skills. Pavlis does this through a group of skills that we call the honors abilities. Things like be authentic, build relationships, be open to new experiences. On first glance, these look a little abstract, but we decided on these areas of focus after talking to industry leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, lawyers, health professionals, and academics in all parts of their careers and across the globe. But still, it's kind of hard to imagine yourself going on a job interview and saying, well, I am an honor student, so I do know myself. And we get that. So you'll learn the theory behind the abilities in the classroom and in 3 one-credit seminars. But you'll put it into practice in some pretty exciting ways. You could compete for venture capital funding for your startup business. You could present undergraduate research. You could basically tell us what you want to do, what would make your career, your college time the most exciting. The honors curriculum is designed to work with your degree program and comes with some benefits. So we're going to start long-term and work our way backwards. So the chart on the top is the way that careers have worked for quite a while. You would go into the workforce, or you would start out in school for about 25 years. Then you'd go into the workforce for the next 45 years or so, and then at the end you would retire. But basically that same progression, pick one company, gradually work your way up the ladder in the same field until you retire, and then that's kind of it. The chart at the bottom is closer to the current model. You bounce back and forth between learning, leverage, and legacy. So you learn something in the classroom as an elementary student, but then you leverage it when you engage with, let's say, mind trackers, when they come to talk to robotics to your second grade classroom. So you know that you like robotics, so you learn more about it in your class, and then you engage more in a summer youth program or in FIRST Robotics, decide to come to Michigan Tech to learn more about it in class, and then you engage again in an internship or through study abroad. After you graduate, you get a career, you engage some more, but then as technology changes, you probably need to learn more again. And you'll bounce back and forth through this, maybe getting an online master's degree, maybe changing careers entirely, until it's time to finally think about your legacy. So as people are retiring and having a longer lifespan, we're seeing that they're still going through this process to keep learning and keeping up with technology and making sure that life is kind of fun and interesting. We structure our Pavlis curriculum to match this new model. And one of our guidelines is this. It's called the Keegan Theory of Adult Development. So we know that employers and grad schools want people in stage 4, the self-authoring mind stage. People that want to lead, that learn how to lead, that set their own compass, that set their own path. Only 35% of adults and only 2% of college seniors get to that point, and only or and while 58% of adults stay in level 2 or in level 3, excuse me, nothing wrong with that. But if you're somebody that says, I want to learn more, I want to do more, I want to take control of my own destiny, you should take a look at Pavlis, because that's where we thrive. Pavlis will give you some benefits during college too. You can customize your curriculum through to your interests. You can have experiences that are more than one line on your resume. You'll be a member of an incredible and caring community. You'll receive honors recognition on your diploma and transcripts, and you'll walk away with leadership, agility, and growth mindset skills that will help you in your career and in your outside life. So I know that that's all kind of abstract. So I want you to meet Ben. This is an application that we got this year of somebody that was interested in joining the full honors pathway program.
All right, and this is Ben's Pavlis video. So moving over here, you can see my current projects. We've got this stereo, which I'm building out of pieces that I found from Goodwill. I've got the gun that likes orange, made out of the Pixie Cam that I got from robotics after I graduated. Moving over to Murphy, which is going to be the Febreze droid, once I get it actually moving. And the boom stick, which I am making out of all the candlesticks that I get from Goodwill. Moving over to here, we've got Kensington, which is going to be my artificial intelligence / personal assistant droid, once I get all the wires tucked away. We've got the singing fish that doesn't actually sing because I needed the speakers for the stereo. And the talking parrot, who doesn't talk right now because he's kind of annoying. Along with all of the Christmas lights I'm cutting apart because I forgot to bring wire. So, as you can probably tell, none of these projects are homework, and that definitely reflects particularly hard on my GPA, which is why I've never really considered myself to be an honors student. I just don't see anything inherently honorable with having a perfect GPA, and I feel like the measure of academic success should be less of what we get tested on, and more so what we do with the space in between the lines. And that's where Pavlis comes in. I want to be a part of a new venture with other like-minded individuals in an environment where the 3.5s aren't being excluded because they were at robotics kickoff instead of cramming for a perfect calc exam. Pavlis is made up of real people and doing real things, and I want in. Thank you for your time.
That's Ben. If you're watching that video and thinking, I understand that need, I know what my space is in between the lines that I want to focus on in college, come and think about us. Or if you're on the exact opposite and thinking, geez, I wish that I had something like that. I wish that I could find my passion. I know that I like, my math and science courses or whatever courses, and that's why I picked my major, but I really want to find that thing. I want to know my why and know what I need to do, both in college and the rest of my life. Come and talk to us. That's what our entire curriculum is about, both learning those things about yourself within the classroom and then going out and really experiencing it, whether it's through internships, research, starting your own business, studying abroad. We have endless opportunities available to you. So if you're interested in the honors program, the best way that you can get involved, especially right now as an incoming student, is to apply for pre-admission. Pre-admission is a way to acclimate. We recognize that this coming year is going to be a really big year for you. You're going to be starting college at a new school, probably in a new town with new people. So pre-admission lets you meet friends for your new journey and teaches you the basics of those honors abilities before really diving in as a full honors student on the pathway program. I would liken it to going for a 10-minute walk in new boots before you go out on a 10-mile hike. We don't want to make you jump right in and do your entire honors pathway program right away. Take your time, get to know Michigan Tech, get to know yourself a little bit, and then we'll set you on your path. You can also make your own map through Honors 1150, which is called Creating Your Own Path. Instead of doing UN 1001, that'll focus on all of these honors ability skills. You'll get some insider tips from current students, faculty, and heads of industry. There's also the opportunity, if you choose to be a pre-admission student, that you can live in the Pavlis Living and Learning community. If what we've talked about interests you, things like following your passions, meeting people from outside of your major, and making the most out of your time at Michigan Tech, the LLC is 70 other people that feel that exact same way. We just launched the hall last year. We had tremendous results with it. It went from 70 strangers to 70 people that really like each other, enjoy hanging out together, um, doing homework in the kitchenette, doing movie nights together, grabbing an entire bus to go out to K-Day. It's been a fantastic community. We love them so much, and they're great. So if you're interested in Pavlis, but you're not totally sure, apply for pre-admission. It's pretty low commitment. If you take Honors 1150, it's 1 credit in the fall, and that's about it class-wise for your first year. You can choose to live in the Pavlis LLC if you're interested, and then if you try it out for a year and you don't like it, that's okay. We would rather have you explore the Pathways program and take some skills with you than be like 90% of the way there and then say, you know what, maybe not, and then regret not trying it later. To apply or to learn more, go to mcu.edu/honors and click for incoming first-year students and apply for pre-admission. We'll just need a quick essay about Pavlis and a reference. If you have any questions, email me. I'm at honors@mtu.edu. Happy to talk anytime. And yeah, I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Always love talking about this. Always love learning more about you and seeing how we can help you out. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we will talk to you later.
Hi, my name is Vienna Chapin. I am the Study Abroad Program Specialist at Michigan Tech. I work over in the Pavlis Honors College, and today I'm going to talk to you about Michigan Tech's global opportunities. So here's me. I'm Vienna, as I mentioned. I've been in this role for 5 years now, and I absolutely love my job. And today I'm going to talk to you about our programs we have to offer, go over some scholarship opportunities, and also discussing why it's important for your child to have a study abroad or any global experience while they're at Michigan Tech. So why study abroad? Well, despite what you might think, study abroad is actually affordable. In fact, the majority of our programs cost about the same as Michigan Tech tuition. And students can use their financial aid and scholarships towards their study abroad program. In addition to what students are already receiving in terms of aid and loans, there are study abroad scholarships. To give you an idea, for the academic year 2018-19, Michigan Tech awarded over $20,000 in study abroad scholarships for our students. In addition to what Michigan Tech offers, there are national scholarships. We will go over these in more detail further into the presentation, but just there for you to see, the Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship awards $1,000 to $5,000 to students for each semester and summer term, and that is for students who are receiving the Pell Grant. So if your child is Pell Grant eligible, they are also eligible for the Gilman Scholarship. There's the Boren Scholarship. That award ranges from $8,000 to $20,000, and there's also the Fund for Education Abroad, and that award is up to $10,000. And we'll touch more on that later on in this presentation. So there are definitely academic advantages. So there is a study in study abroad. And the thing that we do at Michigan Tech is we actually get the study abroad courses evaluated for Michigan Tech credit. So your child does not need to worry about delaying graduation by studying abroad, because the classes they are taking are actually courses that will apply to their degree requirements. So what I do is I work with the students on selecting courses to take abroad, and then we get those evaluated for Michigan Tech credit, and those are evaluated by Michigan Tech academic departments. One thing also to mention is that there's course options for all majors. So everything from STEM all the way to Gen Ed, so humanities courses, PE classes. You can see here in the example that is one of our students who studied abroad in Australia a few years ago, took a surfing class, and it counted for PE credit. Other things that students could take is cuisine classes, and that could count towards some humanity classes. So there's a lot of variety of different academic options for students to take while abroad. One thing also to note about study abroad courses is that the classes do not affect the student's Michigan Tech GPA. So maybe your child is thinking about taking a math course abroad and they are a little concerned about the course content. Well, as long as they receive a D or higher in that country's grading system, they will pass the class. So they will receive an exchange pass on their Michigan Tech transcript and the GPA won't be affected. So just keep that in mind as maybe you're talking with your children about studying abroad and they're concerned about, going to Japan and I'm going to take this computer science course and I'm a little concerned. It's good for them to know that as long as they put the work into it, they'll pass the class. One thing also to note is language of classroom instruction. So when we select our partners for study abroad, one of the first questions I ask them is, do you have courses taught in English? So we always make sure that there's going to be classes taught in English because we are aware that our students may not know the local language of that country. So we're making sure the class will be taught in English. Of course, if they want to learn that local language, let's say Japanese, for example, they can take a class in Japanese, but their STEM classes maybe that they're taking there, those will be taught in English. So they don't have to worry about taking a math class in Japanese. That will be taught in English. Another thing about why should people study abroad, it's going to teach you global literacy. It's going to teach you to be a critical thinker. It's going to make you aware of the world. It's going to make you more open-minded. And it's going to give that person opportunity to step out of their personal comfort zone. I never studied abroad. When I was in college, I grew up in Houghton, where Michigan Tech is. Never really left the country. And when I started working in this job, I was sent to Italy for a site visit and I was very excited about going. Once I got there, I was really nervous. I was definitely out of my comfort zone. But from the week that I was there, I learned a lot about myself and I was really glad to have that opportunity. So I am very aware of the importance of having an international experience, especially for those who will be there for a semester or a summer or even a year. Career advantages. So as you may be aware, Michigan Tech has one of the largest career fairs each fall and spring. And our career, or our recruiters are looking for students to have a global experience because they are aware of the skills that students can get from a study abroad experience. So I mentioned a few already, but others are things like perseverance, time management, adaptability, flexibility, independence. And as you look through job descriptions when you're searching for a job, some of these things are what are considered the desirable skills that someone is looking in an employee. So it's important to keep in mind that having an international experience is going to help you gain these skills for that future job. So some other things to look at are some stats. So this is always changing, but some of the popular locations for our students has been New Zealand, Spain. Definitely this year, we've had a lot of students go to Spain. We have some faculty-led programs, which I'll touch on in a second, but they go to Peru. Most students are going to their sophomore year or junior year. So it's important to know when your child is planning to study abroad that they understand they have to wait until they complete their first year at Michigan Tech to study abroad. So the soonest they can go abroad is summer 2021. And that is mainly because we want students to have the tech experience on campus. So we do ask that students wait until that summer after their first year to study abroad. And students can take classes for their major, minor, and gen ed requirements. So now I'm going to dive into our study abroad programs, and you need to be cautious of time and your attention span. So we have what is called exchange. This is maybe something you're familiar with, but this is where the students directly enroll into the host university. We also receive students at Michigan Tech from these schools. These are offered in the fall and the spring in those following locations. And the cost of the program is Michigan Tech tuition. So say your child wants to go to Australia, they would pay Michigan Tech tuition, and then they would go take the courses over there in Australia. If your student is going to be pursuing an engineering degree at Michigan Tech, there is a European project semester. This is something that they'll do in their junior or senior year. And they will be asked to choose either senior design or enterprise at Michigan Tech. If they choose senior design, they can complete their Michigan Tech senior design requirement in 1 semester in Europe. If they decided to stay on campus at Michigan Tech to do this requirement, it would take 2 semesters. So if the student plans this out right, it's possible that they could graduate sooner because they're completing 2 semesters of work in 1 semester abroad. So European Productive Semester, EPS for short, is an opportunity for a student to work for a company abroad. They're placed in a team of other international students, and together that small team is contributing their academic expertise to the project, and will then give a final presentation at the end of the program. And it's a very phenomenal program. Our students love it. Most popular locations, I would have to say right now, is probably Germany and Norway. And this too is the same cost as Michigan Tech tuition. We also have what is considered third-party provider. This is pretty popular for our students who maybe want some more structure, some more on-site support from staff. So basically what this is it's offered for a semester, summer, academic year, over 150 locations to choose from, and the cost will vary. So right off the bat, we have USAC, University Studies Abroad Consortium. So their main office is in Nevada at the University of Nevada, Reno, and they are a nonprofit, and they have programs all over the world at different terms. They have internships, they have service learning, so if the student wants to have some volunteer work in the community while they're a student there, that is an option. There's also different housing options. They can do a homestay where they live with a host family. They could also choose apartments with other students who are on the program or on-campus dorms. And those housing types will vary across each different location. ISA, International Studies Abroad, is very similar to USAC in terms of having a variety of locations, summer, semester, academic year, internships, and I will mention that international internships are unpaid, which is very strange for students to grasp the concept of that, but these are unpaid internships and they are credit bearing. ISA, in addition to internships, they also have service learning. They also have research opportunities, and they also have a very unique custom program called Veritas Christian Missions. So they would be a student on the program, and they would have a couple extra faith-based courses and community outreach activities. USAC and ISA also offer a variety of different academics. Global Semesters is a program that we have in Cyprus. So if you're not familiar with where Cyprus is, that is a Mediterranean island country in Europe. I visited this place in July a couple years ago. Beautiful. They have aquamarine, blue water, some of the best beaches in Europe. All the Europeans will go vacation there. And the university that we partner with is University of Nicosia, and that is in Nicosia, Cyprus. That university is known for business as well as pre-health studies. So if your child is thinking about going to med school after Michigan Tech, going on a program to University of Nicosia with Global Semesters would be a really great introduction to what it's like to work in a cadaver lab. So yes, when I visited the school, they have a cadaver lab, and I was standing there next to cadavers that were in bags, but it was pretty cool. So students will have the opportunity to experience that. Japan Center for Michigan Universities, JCMU for short, is a program that we have in Hakone, Japan, and that is for students to take Japanese language and culture classes. In addition, they have some other unique specialty programs that you can also look into. Semester at Sea, as in the name, it is a semester program on the sea. So it is a floating classroom, as I like to say, on a ship, not a boat. It is a ship. So there's about 500 students, and then about 200 staff, faculty, and crew members. So the idea of semester at sea is that you live on that ship with everybody, and you're sailing the world in a semester, visiting about 9 to 12 countries. You're taking your classes on the ship, and then when you get to the port countries. You will then have some like in-country classwork and of course excursions. But it's a really, really unique program, and students absolutely love it. So there they are. Get a closer look at these guys. All right, I mentioned internships a little bit already, so as a reminder, they are unpaid. But the nice thing is that these programs are internships that really will deliver the type of internship experience a student is looking for. So it's not getting coffee for the boss, it's actually doing practical work. And these are offered in the semester and summer. We mainly work with ISA for internships. And you do have to pay for this, so you are paying for your housing, and then you're paying ISA a fee for finding that internship placement for you. We do have Michigan Tech students who do this. I mentioned Euro Scholars already, so that is that ISA research opportunity. They have two options where you do some studies, so like a language class. So like if you're going to Germany, you'll be taking a German language class and then research, or you can just strictly focus on research while you're there. And these are offered in the fall and spring, and the cost of this will vary. Faculty-led is where Michigan Tech students will go abroad with Michigan Tech professors, taking Michigan Tech courses with Michigan Tech students. So these are really popular, especially for students who have not been abroad before and are a little nervous about going for the first time. Since I made this presentation, we have had other faculty programs go. So in addition to Peru and England, there's opportunities to go to Germany, Greece, and Costa Rica. And again, these are with tech faculty, and these are offered in the summer, either during summer track A or summer track B. And those are 7-week tracks. And the study abroad program will range between 5 and 6 weeks. And the cost of this will vary. So that's about it for me. I do have videos for you to watch, so that will be shared with you. I created a Google document, and I have a bunch of YouTube links there. So typically I have videos in this presentation to be a little more engaging, but I hope my voice was engaging enough. So again, my name is Vienna, and you can reach me studyabroad@mtu.edu with any follow-up questions. We are online, so visit us there so you can see more about our programs. And we are on Insta, so please follow us. We'll be posting things about our programs, as well as sharing stories of students who are currently abroad. But I really hope to meet your students soon. I do help out at Move-In Day with Pavlis Honors College, and that's an opportunity for me to just chat with y'all about study abroad and just learn more about you and where you're from. But thank you for watching my video. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brianna Tucker, and I'm the Enterprise Program Coordinator within the Pavlis Honors College. So today I'm going to share with you about the Enterprise Program and how to get involved. So I'll get started with a video created by the Synoptic Media Enterprise, and then we'll dive a bit deeper into the program.
Enterprise doesn't look like any of the other courses students take, but it looks a lot like what they're going to do when they graduate from here. They choose to do this. We don't require them to do it. So they have skin in the game, and they're taking ownership for their successes as well as their failures, but they learn so much about themselves, and for me, that's the value of the learning. There's literally something for everyone. So we have teams working in vehicle transportation design. We've got mining, materials, manufacturing, aerospace and defense, electronics, computers and robotics, human interface design as part of that, game development, sustainability, information technology.
I got involved in Enterprise through one of my friends my junior year. She approached me that they needed somebody to help develop a code for one of the projects that she was working on.
I was introduced to a lab where students were building satellites for the U.S. Air Force, and I think when they first showed me, I didn't quite believe it. I went to an info session for the aerospace enterprise, a bit apprehensive as a first year, looking to join the team, but they were very welcoming and they let me join, put me on a team, and got me started on projects right away.
The program was developed to promote technical, professional, and interpersonal skills. So the idea of a team that operates a lot like a company in the private sector, so it allows experiential learning opportunities in support of those goals.
I worked an internship with Mercury Marine. Definitely one of the big items of discussion during that interview was what I was doing with the aerospace enterprise.
I think that Enterprise has offered me an incredible opportunity to learn how to work with multidisciplinary groups, so that when you're working with a product design or in a manufacturing line or whatever career you end up with, you know what's expected of you from your coworkers that may have different backgrounds.
The enterprise program had a lot of impact on my early career, and I would say even today it does have a lot of impact on my career at Microsoft, for example. And you have to be in constant communication with the customer. Good news, bad news, you have to tell the customer how the project is going because they are your key stakeholders.
The teams and the students and some of our industry partners have really expanded the program in new areas well beyond where we started back in 2000. So the program really wouldn't exist without the support from external industry partners, and they truly are partners.
Enterprise was critical for us. It was critical because we got a lot of good engineers that came out of that program. They're responsible for recruiting, they're responsible for business planning, they're responsible for project management. And the other beauty of it is it also included not only upperclassmen as seniors, but it included sophomores and juniors, which I liked as a recruiter.
Our program office can help guide you to the right people since it is a pretty large program. Reach out, take that first step.
Don't just join the first one that you speak to. There's a lot of people that don't even realize other enterprises on this campus that are doing really cool things.
Keep an open mind. I think that's the biggest thing I can say. Keep an open mind. You never know how things are going to work.
If you invest in yourself, the enterprise experience, I think, will prepare you well.
Whatever you're looking for, you will gain so much more out of that experience that if you're hesitant about it, do not be. Just sign up and join. You will have a great experience.
All right, so essentially the enterprise program, it provides students with an environment to which they develop technically, professionally, and entrepreneurial skills through the application of knowledge and interests to the client-sponsored, multidisciplinary team-based projects. So, what does the program look like when you are enrolled in it? So there's a two-pronged approach. So there is project work, which you can start as early as your second semester of your first year. And that essentially will, if you were to start that early, you would be going through the different project work opportunities throughout your time at Michigan Tech. So starting with 1960, and then eventually working your way through 4950, 4960, which is essentially your capstone requirements, which we'll talk about that in a moment. And then after the project work, or coincide with project work, you have enterprise instructional modules. So with that, there are topics that touch on technical and professional topics, business and innovation, as well as interpersonal skills that are essential to you as you grow within this team, but also as you develop as a professional in your chosen field. So what does the enterprise curriculum look like? There are the capstone senior design options, which is essentially 6 credits that you will take no later than your junior year, going into your senior year of your degree. And so you need at least 4 semesters of enterprise in order to count it as your senior design or capstone project. Next, you can think about enterprise. You can get a concentration in enterprise. And so that is essentially 9 to 12 credits that you are taking in relation to the project work, and then also the modules that you'll be able to dive a little bit deeper into, again, like those interpersonal, technical, and professional development skills. And then you can take a enterprise minor, which is diving even deeper into enterprise. So again, you're taking those 6 credits of project work, and then you're taking 18 credits, or you're taking the rest of your credits within the enterprise modules that are available. So a quick look into our teams. We have teams on communication, diving deeper into the environment, technology, materials and manufacturing, as well as electronics, computers, and robotics, vehicle design and transportation, as well as human health and interface. So again, you could be working on a competition team, like Clean Snowmobile Challenge or Super Mileage. You could work on game development within Husky Game. You could be working in robotics and security, and it's really up to you. So as I mentioned, there is a Clean Snowmobile Challenge enterprise, and excitingly, last week they took home first place in the Spark Ignition internal combustion engine category within their SAE Clean Snowmobile Challenge competition. And so we're just really excited when teams are able to not only compete and do what they love, but then also bring home the prize. Next, we have aerospace, which is developing satellites. They just this past summer launched a satellite into space, which is just so cool. And those are projects that our students are working on. And then you have teams that are, again, developing cars and really reaching into fuel efficiency, as well as many other things. So when you work within enterprise, you are essentially working with clients who are either, again, going to be a client to the projects that you're working on, or will be mentors to you as you go throughout your enterprise experience, and potentially will hopefully want to hire you on once you graduate Michigan Tech to then be a full-time professional within a specific company. So the enterprise advantage. With enterprise, you are essentially able to cultivate your curiosity and your passion. You can build relationships with professionals and building professional networks. You are getting experience working in a organization and really taking from what you're learning in the class and then directly applying that to your enterprise project. So you're not necessarily waiting a year or two from when you get into your higher level classes. You can apply that knowledge directly in your enterprise team. And working within enterprise, you have the opportunity to really reflect and grow over multiple semesters and build a unique portfolio of experiences that really will make you stand out from your peers who maybe are not doing enterprise. So some key takeaways. So this is project-based learning. It's completely student-led. So you have team members who take on the CEO role or take on the president's role, and they are really guiding and pushing your enterprise forward rather than your faculty, who will then be seen more as a coach or a guide. You are really having a impactful educational experience. So you will be better prepared for your career, and statistically will have a higher graduation rate than students who don't enroll in enterprise. And if you remember in the video, Enterprise was started in the year 2000. And so we are so excited to be celebrating our 20th year anniversary. And with that, it's been 20 years that Enterprise has been able to grow and develop and really work out the kinks. And with that, we've had over 4,000 Michigan Tech alumni who have engaged in Enterprise. And then there are 24 teams that you can choose from with over 900 students who participate each year. And if there's a team or a topic or anything that isn't covered within our 24 teams, then we welcome you to bring new ideas to potentially start a new enterprise team. And with our industry involvement and support, we typically have over $6,000 or $600,000 to provide to your enterprise team to get projects done and to really learn in a hands-on environment. So that's about it that I have with you today. If you'd like to learn more, please visit us at mtu.edu/enterprise and check out all the things that we have to offer. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Rick Berkey, who's the director of the Enterprise Program, or Chris Morgan, who is the Assistant Director for Educational Partnerships. Thank you so much for listening. And again, I hope to see you in the future. Thank you.